תודה רבה, עידו. Our next presenter is Lieutenant Colonel William Hagestad. I actually met him outside, and after 2 minutes of conversation, I already understood that this is a unique person. So Lieutenant Hagestad, provided current cyber threat assessment to international defense, intelligence, and law enforcement entities. He speaks both thematically and internationally on the Chinese cyber threat. His first book, The 21st Century Chinese Cyber Warfare, was published on March 2012. Thank you so much for coming.
Then how, Tong German? 如果我说中文，这个人听懂吗？不是呢，别的人听懂？没有，不是啊，你们都是外国人，听不懂吗？好了 ，Anybody understand what I just said? You did. This is Tel Aviv, Israel, right? I thought you guys were smart and aggressive. You don't speak Chinese. So how are you going to understand if they're going to attack you? You won't. Till it's too late. So during my presentation, we're going to talk about China, Zhongguo, Persia, where I grew up, and Russia, where I spent about 8 weeks ago, talking to some hackers there. So all of my experience is based on field research in the field, current research. 10 days from now, I'll be in the People's Republic of China. I did not write Red Dragon Rising. Larry Bond did. That's a fictional novel. This is one of the 4 books that I wrote. It is banned in China. But I'm still going there. Not to be outdone, I wrote 3 more. All of these are also banned in China. But that's not the purpose of this presentation. What I'd like you to understand is that your cyber front lines here in Tel Aviv and in Israel in general are the most important thing that you do every day. Because if there's a sieve and I'm a hacker from another country, I'll find it and I'll exploit it, and you'll never know. So all of you have been hacked in this room. Is there anybody that disagrees? Raise your hand right now. Well, there's one person. Are you from the government? Yes, you probably are. All of you have been hacked. Every organization within your military, law enforcement, intelligence in this country, and every organization around the world has been hacked. More importantly, you're all being hacked right now. You're supposed to laugh. Okay. Let's understand who we're talking about, folks. Who is the adversary? In this particular case, during this presentation, we're going to talk about nation states during peacetime and wartime. The rest of it doesn't matter. Because if you can't understand how to deal with these 2 potential threats in the cyber realm, go home right now. Or go get a cup of coffee, and the rest of what I have to say is unimportant. Okay, let's go to China. They view Israel as a technological innovator. They're going to take all your intellectual property, if they haven't already, and they're going to use it to benefit. They'll do that either through direct cyber exfiltration of your intellectual property, or they'll just steal it and then sell it under their mark. That's the way they view you. And of course, I don't need to tell you these Chinese headlines, do I? Or do I? But you can read a slide as well as I do. You have to understand here that they're going to watch what Israel invests in when it comes to information security technology. Then they'll capitalize on those ideas and make them their own. That's what you face. It's a commercial threat. Let's go to Russia. So what do the Russians think of Israel? Sir, you look pensive. What do the Russians think of you? You heard from Mr. Kaspersky, Lieutenant Colonel Kaspersky of the KGB, right? I'm pretty transparent. I'm not a spy, nor do I play one, and even if I was, I wouldn't tell you. So what do the Russians think? They know you are a country that is serious about protecting your homeland. But by the same token, they know that once your critical wealth here in this country becomes a target of opportunity, they will maximize it to their benefit. All your bank accounts will be gone. Sayonara. Sorry, that's Japanese. All right. So they want to look at what you're doing. They understand that the next country that I'm going to talk about is your arch rival. They also realize that they're not going to mess with you from a military perspective. They can't afford to. Look what's happening in the Ukraine, right? And then, of course, the next country, Iran. Who's been to Iran besides me? 1, 2. It's a great place, isn't it? Yeah, Persia. I grew up there. Oh, am I getting some stares and glares? Where's Odin? He said I wouldn't be able to leave after I said that. We'll see in a couple of days. I know some people, though. Okay. The Iranians have made it their intent, and the folks that I've chatted to inside Iran, their end state is to nullify Israel, and they're going to do it with cyber means. You need to understand that. I think your prime minister last night made it very clear. He called them out and said, they are your enemy in cyberspace. Did he not? Was anybody awake? Okay. Whew. Man, I mean, you all stood up for him as your prime minister, as did I. But I mean, it's like, I know it's early. I haven't had my coffee yet. But, man, he is your leader. Good golly. All right. So their fatwa in Iran makes you their country of endearment for destruction. You need to understand that. And, of course, you also need to understand that they understand that the U.S. and Israel, as military partners, work together in cyberspace to create plans to destroy Iran, period. So they view us, as the United States, in tandem with you as military partners, which makes us a secondary target. By the way, who here has served in the military besides me? Thank you for the service to your country. They don't care. Because to them, you're a civilian behind a keyboard, period. Conclusions, and these are some very controversial ones. The one that I want you to understand perhaps the most, is there a laser on here? Is up here, is that number 8, foreign language malware, rats, and botnets are undiscoverable by Western information or Israeli information security technology. Is there anybody that disagrees with that? Wow. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That's probably why they don't have me speak at RSA anymore. All right. Mandarin, Persian, and Russian are ultimate forms of cryptography. Because if your system, your technology systems don't recognize 2-byte binaries, that is UTF-8 versus UTF-16, you've already wasted money. You need to understand the motivations behind that keyboard, and that's the human component. You've heard it at this presentation before, and I'll say it again. The human component is more important. It's not always about the technology. Anybody disagree with that? Are you kidding me? Wow, that's good, I guess. Nobody wants to challenge me? Are you afraid of me? I don't think Israelis are afraid of a Marine, are you? No. Okay, I heard somebody say that. Somebody's got a set. All right. Organizations, including commercial ones, military, law enforcement, cannot adequately defend themselves against the cyber threat. The bottom line there is, folks, ladies and gentlemen, you need to find out what is the most important part of your company or your country, that if you lost, you would cease to exist as Israel. If you try and protect all of it, you're going to fail, especially in the cyber realm. If you're a company and you have intellectual property that makes you unique, like, say, Coke, or the antivirus signatures that are old once you put them out, say like a company from Russia, and you lose those, then your uniqueness in cyberspace is gone. And you're just another has-been country or another has-been organization. Does anybody have any questions on that? I see somebody in uniform looking at me. Did you have a question, sir? You're just afraid of me, aren't you? No, probably not. I said it in 2009, I'm telling you right now in 2014, nation-state cyber espionage and nation-state cyber warfare is getting worse, and it's just going to continue to accelerate. You heard it from your Prime Minister last night. You heard it from your Minister of Defense this morning. If you're not paying attention to this clear and present danger, to quote Tom Clancy, then you're behind the power curve. You really need to understand how to protect yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. Do I have any questions? No questions. Well, this is an easy crowd. This is Tel Aviv, isn't it? I mean, when I went to Norway, my relatives, they were even quieter than you folks are. Looks like I have 4 minutes left. Do I have any questions? Uh-oh, yes, ma'am. Okay. Hi, how are you? You going to be in London this year? I'm sharing again, so please come as my guest. Yes. Whoa. I know. You can tell that I don't jump out of perfectly good airplanes. Hoorah.
So, here's my question. You said that foreign languages, like Persian, like Mandarin, like Russian,
Yes.
are form of cryptography. They prevent us, and then the good guys,
Yes.
from protecting and identifying threats. How can we overcome that barrier? I don't believe it is just a language barrier. I don't think it is just a character set barrier. I believe it is a paradigm or a mind, mentality paradigm. So how can we learn how our adversaries work so we can find them before they hit us?
Karen, let me paraphrase. So we have all these foreign languages, Mandarin, Persian, Hebrew, Russian.
Hebrew is a fantastic language.
Is it UTF-8 or UTF-16? Need to know the answer to that, please. With all due respect. Okay, so you're on the right track. You're not going to be able to learn all those. I mean, I've been studying Mandarin since I was 17, and I still don't know anything. People tell me I'm fluent. I'm not. That would be disrespectful because I'm not a native speaker. The way you need to understand is, what does the adversary's motivation, and how does it affect you? How does it affect your organization? How does it affect your country? If you don't have good digital hygiene, then it's too late. But you need to understand why and what those motivations are for another country or a person attacking you, whether it's a criminal or a spy or a military organization. They're going to have a reason to destroy you. You just need to figure out what that is, counter and period.
Different players have different motivations.
Absolutely, that's why I put up, yep.
Different motivations altogether when it comes to
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. That's why I put up the taxonomy, the landscape of who's out there. I think the most critical thing to understand is you're a country at war, much like the United States is. By the way, how many of you have served in combat besides me? Not cyber combat. I'm talking kinetic stuff. Those of you that raise your hand, is there a second place in war? Is there a second place in war? Don't parrot me. There is no second place in war. It's a body bag. Thank you very much, sir. A body bag is second place. If your country or your organization or the country of Israel thinks that you're going to take second place in this cyber warfare, then you're mistaken and you've already failed. Yes, I think this lady raised her hand first. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, ma'am. Did I say China was an adversary? I did not. I'm very respectful of other cultures, languages, histories, etc. I'm just stating fact. So you're asking probably, is my ticket to China going to be one way? No, I don't know. My Chinese will get really good, though. Yes, sir. The gentleman's question was, under the assumption that China has already taken all of our intellectual property, what happens in the year 2020X? Well, you got to start studying Chinese. No, the intent is when they start to innovate as they already have, they've already started to do this. You look at the Western companies that are banned in China right now, most American auto manufacturers, they've banned Microsoft, they've banned Kaspersky, they've banned Symantec because of the threat based on the traitorous Snowden's revelations. They see those all as links to NSA, which your Prime Minister already explained who that organization is. They are in the process of developing their own innovations in order to counter what the West believes they should have. One of those things that I put up there was, maybe you didn't see it, IBM is co-developing a Chinese server with a Chinese company. That's the way they're going to figure it out. They're going to work together. Good question. All right, any other questions? I don't want to make anybody cry or have to change their underwear.
No, that's that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I